Alrighty, guys, we're back. So, I just got done watching Bad Batch Season 2. I saw Bad Batch Season 1 when it first came out, and I felt kinda meh about it. But Season 2 has actually got me really hyped, and Season 2 is really, really good. You may wonder, why did I not like Season 1? Well, for those of you who do not know, I'm going to keep it as spoiler free as I can. Essentially, what Bad Batch Season 1 did was it started really good. The first episode was an hour long, and it was beautiful. It was well done. It was, honestly, it was amazing. I could have let Season 1 just end right there, just one episode, and I would have been so happy. It was such a good episode. Oh my god, I was hooked. But then the other episodes came. And a lot of the Bad Batch episodes following in Season 1 contradicted what was already established in Season 1's pilot episode, the very first episode. There was a lot of things in there. I'm trying to keep it spoiler free. But essentially, they say one thing, and then 4 episodes later, they go, oh, that, of course I didn't do that. It's like, dude, you literally said that you did that in the very first episode. So Season 2, what does it improve? It doesn't do that. It doesn't go back and change things that it did earlier. It feels like the writing team really did have their stuff together. Now, the only real bad thing I would say about Season 2 so far was that there was a few filler episodes that I didn't quite understand because they were truly cliche. They felt like it was meant for kids. And that's the weird feeling about the Bad Batch so far, is that on one hand it's for kids, but then they do some really heavy stuff that I don't expect a kid to understand. I'm like, whoa, that got dark quickly. Like, you're showing civilians dying and soldiers executing them, and you're dealing with heavy-handed stuff that I don't think kids would be able to watch. But then the next episode, it's like, oh yeah, power of friendship, yeah, we should do what's right for our friends, yeah, and it's very cliche. But then it flips back to this like really dark, mature setting. It's like, woof. So that's the one bad thing about the Bad Batch Season 2, is that there is like 2 or 3 episodes that are filler, and they are very like kiddie, very organized like kids. But some of the episodes, honestly, I can't really say there was that many filler. It felt like there was only 2. There may have been more, but honestly, it felt like they served their purpose. There was one filler episode in particular, this is a bit of a spoiler, but it's about a racing game, and they're trying to bail their employer out of debt, even though they really don't have to. During the whole episode, it felt like a filler. It's like, dude, just, of course you're going to win the race, like, of course, you know. Despite, you know, all the odds being against you, of course you're going to win the race. Like, come on. Just end the episode already. But then it all serves a purpose towards the end. And I was like, oh my god, that wasn't a filler. It actually served a purpose. And it served, really, the whole race and everything was just really not important. What was important was the story behind what's going on. What the beginning of the episode stated, and then the end of that episode stated. And sure enough, by the end of the season, it came true. So it was really, really good. Surprisingly, Bad Batch Season 2 does a lot of switching perspectives. Bad Batch Season 1 switched occasionally to Crosshair, one of the team members, but not that often. This time around, I felt like I got more of other characters' perspectives than I did of Omega, which is great. Omega is like the kid, so that's how you know it's going to be all like kitty, all hopeful, like just naive. But no, there was like a lot of good scenes in here that I was just like, oh my god, this actually hypes me up for a Season 3, and I'm very rarely hyped. Very rarely do I get excited. Usually when I watch something, I'm always like, nah. The director's going to mess it up somehow, you know, It's like Star Wars Episode 7, when they said they were making an Episode 7, I was like, it's probably going to be bad. It's probably going to be just terrible. And then sure enough, it pretty much was. Episode 8 was, at least. Episode 7 was pretty alright. It was pretty average. But when it came to Bad Batch Season 2, I would say you really do need to watch it. Now, for those of you who are not yet enlightened to what happens in the season, I would say stop watching the video here, hit subscribe, and say, damn, Freedom 700, you're just the best looking guy I've ever seen. But for those of you who have seen it, and you want to hear the spoilers, here we go. We're going to talk into it. Oh my god. There was so much good stuff in here. My favorite thing was they addressed Crosshair. And they did not neglect him. At first, when they showed Crosshair again, I just kind of sighed and went, okay. We're going on a filler episode, a bit of a detour. Gonna watch this guy who betrayed his squad for really no reason. Alright, let's see this. But no, it was good. It was kind of like they were showing the audience, hey, we know you don't like Crosshair, so let's torture him for a bit. Let's give him the worst experience of a lifetime. And it was like, yeah. At first I was signing on for it. I was like, yeah, let's keep giving Crosshair all the bad jobs, all the bad missions. Yeah. But then eventually I was like, oh my god, Crosshair, dude. I feel bad for you. And you were like the main villain in the last season. That's not good. And it serves such a good purpose because we saw the political backlash of what's going on. Which is, again, not kid-related. That's very adult topic, where you see what happens when soldiers question their orders. When soldiers decide, hey, did we really just fight this war just to be executed by the government that we just protected? Like, that's not right. And it's so good because you see this with Crosshair, where these brand new commanders, these lieutenants, these generals, they have zero fucking experience. Zero, zilch, nada, nothing. And they're just handing them clone troopers like, oh yeah, the Imperial Command gave you a bunch of clone troopers to handle this mission how you see fit. If you fuck up, it's totally fine because they're clones, they're expendable. Like, that's their point. And you really get that from Crosshair, where he's like, you know, just me alone, I'm worth like 100 stormtroopers, right? But he doesn't say that. But the whole time, the Empire's just like, yeah, I'm gonna send you on another mission. And it's like, I'm sorry, what, Commander? You do realize that this is a dumb strategy, right? That this is a dumb idea, that we're gonna be ambushed, right? Listen, I'm in charge here. I went to Academy. I'm the lieutenant. I'm in charge. You're just a clone. You're gonna go do and serve your function, which is to fucking die because I said so. And Crosshair just keeps coming back alive. He keeps coming and coming back. And the whole time, every other clone who survives for at least one mission, they slap Crosshair on the back and go, yep. There comes a time when you gotta live with your choices, right? And Crosshair just keeps sitting there silently like, fuck. I made the wrong fucking choice. And it's so good. It's like, yeah, that's right, Crosshair. Yeah, suffer. For once, I felt like I was channeling my inner Palpatine. I was like, good. Yeah, suffer. And it was just so interesting. Because with him being tortured, I got what I wanted. Just like every other fan who didn't really like Crosshair. But at the same time, I got emotional for him. I was like, oh my god, Crosshair, dude, like, I want to just pick you up and take you out of this hellhole. You're suffering. Like, there's several times where Crosshair grabs his gun and I'm like, please tell me you're going to commit suicide. Please tell me you're going to eat the barrel of your gun and blast yourself. Please, Crosshair, end your misery. You were suffering. And it's like, oh my god. He doesn't. He keeps pursuing. He keeps enduring the pain. It's like, oh man, that's a man right there. And that's really the whole story of season 2, is a man struggling with himself, his consequences. And it's so beautifully written. What happens in a man's life when he sternly goes against friend and family and makes a wrong choice? What are you supposed to do? That's a tough question, you know? Like, how do you handle that? Like, everyone, your work, family, friends, everyone, they're just like, oh, don't move out of state. Don't go to a different country, like, blah, blah. And you say, nah, I know better. This is the right choice for me. And then you go. And now it turns out it was the worst fucking mistake of your life. What do? Do you just tough it out? Do you decide a sort of repentance by torturing yourself with this bad consequence? Or do you chicken out and just simply say, listen, friends and family, I was absolutely wrong. Please come save me. And Crosshair finally does that by the end of the season. He calls like Plan 99. It was like, oh man, that is so good. So good. Now, interestingly enough, that's not all that happens in season 2. The clones start rebelling. The clones are being treated like shit. All that's interesting, but that's really tertiary. That's not primary or secondary. That's kind of like in the background. Really, it's more about Crosshair, and it's more about Tech. I couldn't believe it. So, one of the characters that they kept gassing up this season that I didn't really realize it till the end of the season. I didn't realize until afterwards that I kind of took a look back and I was like, wait a minute. One of these characters in the squad got more screen time than all the others. In the first season, it just kept on going back to Hunter and Omega, Hunter and Omega, Hunter and Omega. That's all we ever got about, was Omega going, oh, please, can we go on this suicidal mission even though I know it's going to get us all fucking killed? And then Hunter just sitting there going, yeah, I guess. It's like, come on, dude. Really? That's all we got season 1? But season 2, we did not do that. We did not do stupid shit like that. Instead, it was more about Tech. And I kept on thinking about, why do they keep showing Tech? He's so cool. Like, he's using all of his gadgets. He's using all of his brain to, like, do all these crazy calculations and mathematical probabilities. And they really highlighted him. And I'm just sitting there going, damn, why do they keep showing him? It's because he fucking dies. And I was like, wait, what? They killed him? They killed his ass? It's so good the way they do his death. Because technically he dies from a technical job. He's sent to do what he's good at. And ends up having to sacrifice himself. And he says the most best phrase that can summarize the entire Bad Batch. Since when did we start following orders? And he executes himself. He just full on shoots the rail car that's holding him and he falls to his death. It is like, oh my god. He's gone. And then you see Wrecker and Hunter, they're all that's left. Echo's gone, Crosshair's in prison. It's like, oh my god. It's literally only 2 of you left. And Omega. So they're like, yeah, let's just settle down, let's get out of here. But you remember when I said that there was a filler episode early in the season that served a purpose? This is when it comes in and it's so well written, so well done. Where their employer, Sid, the Trandoshan female, which is kind of weird, she rats them out to the Empire because they ghosted her for like 20 or 30 days. So because they didn't respond to her, she's like, oh, I'm going to save my own skin and make a hell of a profit at it. Hell yeah. I want my bank account to be like my skin, baby. Green. So she sells them out and Omega. And the whole time she's trying to get pity from them. Like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. It's like, bitch, shut the fuck up. Like, everyone knew that you were a scummy. But the fact that they saved you twice and you backstabbed them, it serves that filler episode that I'm talking about with the racing, where at the end, this guy who's a criminal, just like Sid, he says, you guys do not know her, but I do. She will screw you over in some way, somehow. And it's like, oof, yikes. That's not good. That's really fucking bad. So yeah, what it ended with season 2 is just simply Omega gets captured, and the big reveal is that she apparently has a sister, which honestly didn't bother me. The only thing that bothers me about the sister idea is the fact that the sister is somehow the same age as the clones. So I'm assuming Omega doesn't have the age acceleration, but the sister does somehow. So I'm not sure what that's all about. At least they're not saying the stupid shit that they said last season. Last season they were like, oh yeah, Omega's an unaltered clone. Unaltered? She's a fucking woman. Jango Fett's a guy. How is that not altered? Also, blonde hair. Like, huh? Huh? But they didn't say that this time. This season, they realized their mistake, and they're like, okay, we're not going to say something stupid. We're going to try to keep it, like, good this time around. So season 3, what do I think is going to happen? What I hope is going to happen. What I hope happens is season 3 is where we see the Dark Trooper projects. Because I like Dark Troopers. Dark Trooper was crazy. But I would love to see that where they're starting to cycle the clones and turn them into Dark Troopers against their will. Because they're the perfect candidates. And I would love to see that where Crosshair somehow makes a recovery. Somehow. Again, I actually started to care about him this season. Whereas season 1, I was like, I don't really buy your reason, Crosshair. It just feels half-assed. You feel stupid. Just die. Just eat the bullet and blow your brains out. But this season, it's like, damn, man, you got that shit rough. Like, can I alleviate that pain somehow? Like, damn, I want you to kill yourself, not because I hate you, but I want you to kill yourself to stop the pain. But I hope season 3 he does make a comeback. He actually comes back into the squad because they just lost Tech. And I kind of hope season 3 just ends on a peaceful note. And that's the end of the Bad Batch. Like, that's it. That's a done deal. We're done. And the reason why is because in season 2 they almost ended it where Hunter, Tech, Wrecker, and Omega almost settled on this new plan they found called Pabu. And it's a very peaceful plan, very remote. No one really goes there, and it's peaceful for them. They could literally just settle down. But I would love to see that as the end for season 3, where what happens is all the clones rebel, where all the clones get gear, they all get ready, and they are the first rebellion that the Empire has to deal with. The first real deal, where they show up in their own ships, in their own gear, in their own everything. And it's just Clone Trooper versus Stormtrooper, and you just see them beat ass. And that would be a really amazing season 3, is where you just see Clone Troopers just beating the shit out of them, and you just see Clone Troopers just laughing in their ships going, look at this. Lieutenant so-and-so, he thinks that we're going to fall for this pincer maneuver. Boys, let's show him how we did things over in Geonosis. Yeah, let's show him that Megiddo tactic that we did on the Separatists. It would be so good because it would highlight the difference between the Clone Troopers and the Stormtroopers. Clone Troopers are more veteran. They're experienced. They're used to everything. They can fight the worst battles you can imagine and come out on top. Stormtroopers, they can create some really awful wars, but that's it. They don't emerge out of this better. They don't emerge out of this as like dignified heroes. No. And there was something that was kind of interesting because my wife pointed it out, was how interesting it was that one of the lieutenants who is torturing Crosshair tells Crosshair, you're expendable, you're a clone, no one's going to know you, no one's going to remember you. But when Crosshair kills him, literally no one knows who the fucking lieutenant's name is. They're just like, well, you killed some lieutenant. We don't know his name. Who gives a fuck? Something that I wish they would also address is why clone commandos are following the Empire much closer than regular clones. I don't get that. Why there's that schism. We do see Gregor, who is a clone commando, but he's had a lot of brain damage. He's had a lot of issues. So it makes sense that he would be easier to defect, but I don't understand why all the clone commandos are still siding with the Empire and haven't questioned their orders, and they're doing like the most amount of work for the Empire for the littlest amount of recognition. I don't know. But I would definitely love to see that, though, as an end to Season 3, is you just see the clones kicking ass. They're just beating the shit out of the Empire. And finally, the Empire says, stop, stop, stop. You don't need to fight us anymore. We got reparations for you. You guys have rights. Here, go retire on some desert planet with this giant ship or something. Just stop attacking us. Get the fuck out of here. And I would love for that to be the end of Season 3, where Hunter, Omega, Crosshair, and Wrecker just all chilling on Pabu in peace, and they have like a shit ton of war gear that they were given by the Empire as a way of retirement package to get the clones to stop attacking them, because it turns out the clones are just too damn good at their job. That would be an amazing. That's why I'm hyped for that. Would be an amazing season 3 for me. But you guys tell me down below what you guys thought. I think this reaction or review has been a little long. 20 minutes. I usually don't give that much attention to something, but damn, this season was really good. It made me like really conflicted on how I felt about some of their stories. I was like, damn, they're dealing with loss because Echo is walking away from their squad, and that for me spoke on a deeper level, because not many of you guys may know this, but I used to be part of a ballroom dance group. We were a group, an actual group. And slowly but surely, everyone developed new interests. Everyone, graduates in school and they pursue their careers. I was the only one left. And I felt abandoned. I felt like I lost my second family, essentially. But as you get older, you realize that you didn't lose anything. People just grow. People evolve. For people who are just graduating high school, you're probably feeling that right now, where you didn't lose your friends. Just, they're on a different mission, as Tech puts it. They're on a different goal. You didn't lose them. They're still, your friends. And you existed before they came into your life. You'll exist well after they leave your life. And it was a really good episode in season 2 where they talked about it. That really struck me, because I was like, oh wow, I went through this at one point. Wow, those are some young teenage emotions I wasn't expecting to re-dig out of that crypt. So yeah, Bad Batch season 2. Tell me what you guys thought. I think it was fucking amazing. Apparently it's only 16 episodes. I wish there was more, actually. I had to look it up. I was like, damn, was there only 16 episodes because that's all that's available right now? It's like, yeah, that's it. It's like, damn. So see you guys next time.